couple weeks that we've been gone, but it just didn't really make a lot of sense for Hanok to be in one hotel room and me in another hotel room, and we didn't have time anyway because of the
No.
Israel Connect Israel tour. So, Hanok, I at least you're not having to get over jet lag, but I sure am.
Yeah, on the one hand, I really, it was, another one to add to the books, an
Yeah,
amazing Connect to Israel tour. You can see people's hearts and minds opened and connected. It's beautiful.
yeah,
The bad news is that y'all are suffering jet lag,
yeah.
or we've got seven of our group, seven still in the air. I'm over the US in any case.
Yeah, they are
I
actually
am
are they're actually somewhere probably over about Virginia right now. I've been kind of tracking them a little bit. So
well, I got to tell you, you know, once an air traffic controller, always an air traffic
yeah,
controller.
it's kind of in the blood there. So
Oh, that's great. I, of course, have no jet lag, but I'm suffering separation anxiety. So, like I can't believe, I this morning I started to get dressed, to go into Lev Yerushalayim, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, we don't have anyone there anymore.
yeah,
It's sad.
yeah,
It's
I
sad.
know, I know. Well, it was a great tour, wonderful time, and the responses that we've gotten back from people have been very just
Wonderful.
overwhelming.
Wonderful.
Uh, I still kind of consider in my mind one of the friends of ours. I won't mention a name here, but one of the friends of ours that we visit in Israel, in Jerusalem specifically, said, your groups that you bring here, it's not like you're bringing a group, you're bringing a family. And this
It's a
was
beautiful way
really
to put it.
apparent on this one. We got to the Shel HaShamron Hotel a couple of weeks ago, and everybody's sitting out there in the grass, shoes off, and just kind of looking around, many of them starry-eyed, but they just melted together literally as one family. So I was just so proud of the group and what they
It's
did. It was
wonderful.
great. Consider we had people from Belgium, people from Canada, all over the United States, California. There was just we just got there and we were one family, so it was good.
Right. Right. I like the way you mentioned inadvertently or not California, like the United States, California. Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, they lived there, but only in body.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
true.
a lot's going on. I have not been keeping up really close with the news, just trying to get my own stuff done and catch up with everything that's happening here. First of all, there was an attack yesterday in Ariel.
Yes. Uh we suffered three fatalities.
Uh,
Hashem Yikam Damam. Hashem should avenge their blood. An 18-year-old terrorist who had a work permit in Ariel in the industrial zone, not all that far away from the Eshel HaShamron, but
yeah,
not in that section.
yeah,
Um, went on a stabbing spree, came into the facility, stabbed a guard, and today already they're rehashing all the security miscues. The other security guard, as the terrorist began running away after stabbing the first guard, the second guard fired in the air. You do not do that. Listen, Mike, you've taught firearms instruction and preparedness. You know that.
yeah,
But again, remember, we're not talking about our soldiers. We're not talking about our police, our border police. We're talking about civilian guards.
yeah, yeah,
And what it points to is they need to be trained, because later on, several people fired at him, and it was a soldier who, again, wasn't connected to, but a nearby soldier, and a civilian that hit him, but a number of people fired at him.
well,
So this is, and each of the three men that were killed, each have several children. I mean, it's a real tragedy. It's a terrible tragedy,
yeah,
and it points to the situation that they will never feel part of our country. and they can't stand the idea that we get up every morning and breathe.
Yeah,
It
pretty
comes
much.
back to that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. You talking about firing in the air, that did not go well for a young girl down in Hebron that's walking from, I think, from the shopping center or something back home, and a bullet out of the air. That was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know, have they ever figured out where that bullet came from?
I haven't heard an update on it. I mean, it was obviously a sniper, fairly long range. Now, the security situation in general, has been very good. Except for something that I think you'll want to bring up momentarily about when we were there together. But our security forces have been working very hard, 24/7, not 24/6, 24/7, you know. But again, you have these individuals who just feel like, I want to die a martyr's death. I want to kill some Jews and die a martyr's death.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. We were, as you just alluded to, we were on the Temple Mount within about 5 minutes of an attack. Literally, if we'd have been probably 2 minutes back of where we were, we would have heard the gunshots. From our vantage point, we got off the Temple Mount. We went directly to the Western Wall, taking a what we call litter box break right there. About that time, the ambulances come up. They go running into the tunnel right there where the old entrance to the Kotel tunnel was, and they came out with one soldier in a wheelchair kind of thing, the other one in a stretcher with a space blanket on. And then news is coming in that, I mean, literally right behind us was this terror attack. Hanok, as I've kind of had some time now to process the whole tour, I've really come to the conclusion that when we walked up on the Temple Mount, we'd had some issues getting up there. We won't go into that right now, but it was too quiet.
We both mentioned that it
It
was
was, yeah,
eerily quiet.
yeah,
Eerily
it
quiet.
was, and that's the only way. That's the only word to use for it, is eerily quiet. There were no women anywhere heckling. There was not a
Not one.
single
Not one.
young person playing soccer. Nothing was happening. So these people know. They know when something is planned. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, it appears that our border police noticed this guy looking and acting suspicious. They approached him, he pulled out a knife, began stabbing. And the injuries from gunfire were, friendly fire ricochets. Fortunately, none of our young men and women were killed.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, it's just one individual. No, it's not just one individual. It's an entire community. And remember, this is the same group of people on 9/11/2001 that were giving out sweets,
Yeah.
candies in the street, celebrating the death of Americans.
Yeah.
Again, reminding our listeners, we in Israel are merely the little Satan. Y'all are the big Satan in their mind. That's the, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
11 years ago. 11 years ago.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I actually was able to donate something to the police force in Israel that would help them at some point. I don't know if you know this, but I got flagged at the on the light rail. Did you see that?
I remember as you were going into the train station, they
in the train station. Yeah, not the
Yeah.
light rail, but the train station. I get my, we were on the light rail, the train, escalators, elevators, subway, trams. I mean, I've been on so many different modes of transportation that I really forgot where I was at. But I, of course, I mean, being, a little redneck myself, I've got to carry a knife. And so I know that I can't carry a knife in Israel, but I want to have one like available. And so I put it in my suitcase, which is totally legal, getting through the airports in my checked bag. But then we threw the little extra there of we got to go through the security at the train
Train station.
station. And
Yeah.
so they pushed my bag to the side, and the this wonderful security agent lady, she says, "You have knife?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, yeah." She said, "Open your bag." So I opened it, take out this 3.5-inch buck knife, and yeah, and she's like, "Why you have this?" Trying to think very quickly, I said, I left it in my bag in the United States. I'm sorry, I forgot it was there. She says, "You can't take it. You have to throw it away." I said, "Okay, fine, fine, whatever. Be glad to." Not glad to, but I will, because you might hurt me if I don't. And so
I
she
wouldn't have
said,
let that happen, Mike.
"Yeah."
I wouldn't have
She
let that
said,
happen.
I said, "So where?" And she said, "Back there." So the other security guard
I
is
saw,
there.
yeah, yeah,
And I said,
yeah,
"Well, yeah,
yeah.
I'll go
Because
back
I mean,
and throw it away." And the guy said, "Well, I'll do it for you, or would you like me
yeah,
to give it to the police force?" I said, "It's their present blessings."
yeah. I mean,
Zipped up my
think of it
suitcase and got
seriously.
away.
Could you imagine the illegal knife is sitting in a garbage can? A kid walks by, throws out his, bag of Bamba, and it's like, "Yo, happy birthday to me. I just found a knife." Yeah, not a good situation.
Well, there is a security guard in Israel that is probably carrying my buck knife. So, that's not bad. But what he doesn't know is I did not put the expensive one in the bag. It was the cheap
No, that's good. That's very good news. By the way, in case everyone, people listening are excited, we mentioned about, such a wonderful experience on our Connect Israel tour. For those of you keeping track, November 5th through the 17th, Mike and I are working on some really big changes. Actually, I would say the biggest changes that we've had since 2015,
Yeah.
when we went from an additional day by adding an additional day. That was in 2015, one day more than we had in 2014. But this is going to be the biggest revamping of our game plan, our
Yeah.
itinerary. So we're very excited about it. People should be holding on to or beginning to save, or hopefully have been saving for their deposits, because we'll probably be calling for those, I imagine, in the next 4 to 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, probably so. At least by the end of the year, first of January. So what I'm doing is in the next few days, as soon as I have the brain cells connected, um, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work to the Connect Israel tour website, connectisrael.com, I think it is. And so they can go there. I'm going to have an email there that they can send. There was no deposit required, just an email of inquiry, and that will give them the opportunity to say, "Yes, I'm interested in the tour." And then as the itinerary changes, as information comes out, they'll be able to put in deposits, all those great things. We've got a lot of, I think we already have a number of people that have committed to go on the tour. So
Yes, yeah, I expect this one will sell out very fast. There are people, I know there's a whole core of people in Kentucky.
yeah.
Jessica, if you're listening, we're thinking of you.
Yeah,
And
and
others,
by the way,
save.
let's go ahead and say that our we had someone on the tour, Sarah, who started her Israel fund with the baking of halot, and it was like the Almighty just met her in the midst of that. It was her putting to action the yearning that then came over to Jessica, who has already seen that. Had an amazing miracle happen with the baking of the halot to bring in
Yeah,
more than she ever imagined, I think.
yeah. Which, by the way, is a good reminder. Um, Sarah will be back in Franklin, later today.
Yeah.
So for our local listeners, local to you, this would be a good reminder to order chalot from Sarah on a regular basis. That would be great, because I know that she and her sisters, Rosie, Marky, Elizabeth, and even though Katie left a little before, already saving for their next trip to Israel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, let's and her halot are wonderful.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. I've had the pleasure of eating numerous loaves of those. So hey, let's go where we normally don't go. We do see Bibi Netanyahu is has been voted in, but he, as you said, I believe this is what you said, that he is already dissing the religious right and is going a different direction. Can you explain that, please?
yeah, I gotta say, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Because oh, a right-wing government, and friends of ours, mutual friends of ours, Israelis, are all, like a right-wing government and a religious government. Like, guys, let's wait and see what government is. No, you don't. No, I do understand. Netanyahu is the puppet master.
Mm.
So it appears, Ma'ariv, one of the largest Israeli dailies, had a story today that it appears that Netanyahu has been negotiating with Yair Lapid. You vilify people before the elections, and then afterwards you go out on date nights with them. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Benny Gantz might be now. Either Netanyahu is seriously negotiating with them, which will then marginalize the so-called religious right, religious Zionism party, which the Americans really don't like. And Netanyahu does know where his bread is buttered. Or he will bring these others into the government to negate their leverage and either include them or not include them.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the wheeling and dealing has just begun.
Yeah.
So to jump to the conclusion that this is the most right wing, again, the terms right wing are like red and blue, and but everyone does different things. You can't jump to conclusions yet. What was it? Was it Yogi Berra who first quoted that? It ain't over till it's over, or something crazy like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't know.
Yeah, and as you're watching that, of course, in the United States while we were in Israel, the red wave ended up being a red ripple. A lot going on here in the States, and of course,
There is.
President Biden is trying to walk, which is becoming more and more difficult for him these days.
Is there yet another one of these videos, or is this just what people are saying?
No,
I mean,
I saw it last night. I can't remember, where is he actually? I don't keep track of him real well, which is something we have in common. He doesn't either. But literally, he was in the midst of a group of wherever it was Indonesia or something. I don't know. And he was again confused, kind of starting to wander around, and this walk that he has is like he's just barely able to make it from one place to another. It's a sad situation. It really is. I mean,
crazy.
it's an embarrassment on the world stage.
And then at the same time, Donald Trump has announced that he's going to run again.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a total shock. I mean, when he said, there's going to be a big announcement coming. Well, the big announcement wouldn't be like, I've decided, I'm going to go into movies, like Ronald Reagan did or something. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So it's a world, it's a ball of confusion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, an Israeli tanker in the Gulf of Oman was hit by a drone. There's a lot going on all over the place. The thing though that I keep repeating to myself is, if more people could join us in Israel, Mike, and really connect to the people and the land and the God of Israel,
Yeah.
we collectively could change the world.
Well, it's interesting because over the last 2 weeks, I come back and I actually was awake last night, or slightly awake. I was in Trump's big announcement. I was falling asleep during it, and finally just decided to forget this. I know what he's going to say, so I went to bed. But we came back. I said to Kathy, we were sitting there watching a little bit of news last night. It's like nothing happened. Okay, nothing really happened in the last 2 weeks. There's been
Yeah.
these changes of people in seats, but the news still is the same. And it's fascinating to me is that the only time the world makes sense is when I'm in Israel.
Yeah.
If you when you leave the land, it's like you just kind of go back out into this outer space thing. When I'm in Israel, it seems like I'm more focused on what's important, and I'm less focused on what is not.
And it's interesting because I can't believe you used those very same words. Rav Kahana had taught us years ago that when he would give the brachot, the blessings to his children on Friday night, on Shabbat evening, he would always add in, and may you always know the difference between what's important and what's not.
Wow.
And our society at large has totally missed that.
Yeah.
Totally missed that. I don't know what to say other than it was wonderful being with you here, Mike. You did your typical amazing job. And again, my only regret is that we're not able to do it more often.
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah, at this time, Bezrat Hashem, that will change in as we. The only thing is when I come off of one of these tours, it's like, yeah, why am I doing this? And then you start to get all the emails and the things that happen, and it's like, okay, now I know why. But it's for me, it's there's a lot of work. There is a lot of work for me and for you. And as we continue to update and do things, there's of course going to be a lot of things happening. We're going to be having to keep up on top of those things. Of course, we as I was flying west, passing me in the middle of the night was none other than Rico Cortez.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the note saying that he waved and he didn't see you wave back.
I was asleep.
Planes weren't that close. Okay, the planes weren't that close.
Yeah, I was actually asleep. I did get some sleep on the plane, which is pretty amazing because I normally don't sleep on planes.
So that's good. That's a bracha. That's a blessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
So you're heading out. You pick up another group tomorrow?
Tomorrow. And they're going to be here for 2 weeks. 2 full weeks of guiding. I'm only with them through next Thursday. Okay. I'm only there 1 week.
Wow.
My friends will take them for the rest of the time because I was already scheduled to pick up the group and Joe Good are bringing. So then I'm guiding them.
So this is going to be like a month and a half.
No rest for the weary.
For you? Yeah.
Which is astounding. But again, remember, our Connect tour was our 2020 tour.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It had delayed a little bit. I just want to give a little bit of an update to people. There were groups all over. It was very reminiscent of the time prior to the Oslo War, the Second Intifada, that when we were up at Capernaum, when we were in Masada, various places, it was packed.
Yeah, amazingly.
Amazingly. Now, here's the thing. It was not packed with Americans for the most part.
Which is something that, if you remember, you and I had this discussion back in 2018 and 2019 as well. tourism was off the hook. We saw tons of groups, and we kept looking at each other saying, they're not speaking English.
Yeah.
Enormous amount of Brazilians, enormous amount of people from Spanish speaking countries,
Yeah.
lots of people from Europe. I mean, Eastern Europe. I
Mhm.
met a Polish group last night in the airport. Amazing.
Yeah, I met numerous people from South Korea. I did get to do something that you've never done before, is I guided a French Chinese group in the old city.
Yes.
Of course, it was a man and his wife, but they were Chinese and they were from France. And I guided them from Moshe Kapinski's store to the Armenian Quarter. So, you know, I might not have guided them a long ways. It wasn't a large group, but I have done something you have never done.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
the tour guide, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. So you're okay.
okay, I'm fine. I didn't need to steal your badge for that one. We had something interesting.
No,
We'll close with this one. We had something very interesting that happened on the tour, is that there are numerous shop owners that I've developed relationships with through the years, Yuval, Uri, various ones. And every one of them had the same complaint. Now, I don't know that there's ever been a tour that the shop owners all were coming to me, to the tour leader, and giving this complaint about our group. And it is this, that our group was not accepting the discounts that they were given and were trying to pay more.
that's not a common thing. Not at
No.
all.
No. But
That's-
it says a lot about our group that
That's
many of them were just the shop owners, the places they were doing the retail therapy. They were just giving, the discounts that they were giving to our group was just phenomenal. And we literally had people that said, no, I want to give you more. And that just says a lot about the people that we had with us.
Yeah. So, again, a final reminder, as Mike, as you were saying about retooling the website and putting on things. In the meantime, if people are serious about joining us next year, they should send you an email or a message on Facebook or to me. Let's start making a list, because once we open it up and start accepting deposits, it's going to close up pretty quickly. We're not one of those ridiculous multi-bus tours.
No, we're not. We're not. And that we actually have about 25, less than 30 that go on the tours. That is by design, so that it does not become a zoo for everybody. And just another thing, if maybe we have people out there that say, there's no way I can go because of health issues or whatever. We do have a scholarship fund that that you can donate to. That was used this time to help some people go, but maybe they want to donate to a scholarship fund to help someone else go to Israel.
Wonderful reminder, Mike. That's great.
Yeah, and that will go mainly to to teenagers. But I will not give a scholarship to anyone that is not put out the effort for themselves.
Absolutely.
We will meet them at their effort, but it will not be a free ride. Period.
No. Agreed.
So, all right. Hey, enjoy your tours. We'll be following you around, take a couple pictures once in a while, put them on Facebook, and
I certainly will.
see you next week, man.
See ya.